There is no easy way to say this, but a trip to the Republic of Malta will change your life. Malta is a country off the coast of Sicily filled with amazing landscapes, beaches, and glorious locations that will take your breath away. Malta has even been the location for various movies and TV shows in the past, thanks to its welcoming community and its pristine environment. So if you're planning a trip to Malta, or you're just planning a trip and you want to know some of the best places to go for your vacation or getaway, then here are the top 10 places to visit in Malta. We'll be going through man-made and natural landmarks, pristine villages that make you feel like you're walking through the past, and even historic cult site for good measure. So if you're not scared to make the journey, let's get started. 10. The Blue Lagoon. It's probably best if we start with what most people call nature's perfect swimming pool. It's not every day you hear people describe a naturally occurring body of water as perfect, but that's essentially what the Blue Lagoon is. It's a marvelous sight that's hard to get used to. Located on the island of Qim, the lagoon has a see-through turquoise-colored water that's about the size of several Olympic swimming pools. And even though the larger part of the lagoon is for boats and ferries, there's still another part for people to use. It's fun and safe for swimming, as well as the occasional beach relaxation, since the lagoon has a surrounding beach and a rocky hillside. The Qim Hotel is the only hotel on the entire island, so it can be hard to find rooms during tourist season. But if you want to get the most out of the lagoon as well as your stay on the island without the stress or disturbance of other tourists, it's best to arrive early and visit the lagoon in the early hours of the day when there are not too many people. 9. The Mnajdra Temples. It's most important to note that Malta has a lot of historical sites. Like Italy, Malta dates back to the Victorian era and even further back. To this day, there are even man-made infrastructures dating back to the Bronze Age. And one of those infrastructures is the Mnajdra Temples. Found in the Maltese village of Krendi, the Mnajdra go as far back as 3600 BC, around what history recognizes as the Guantija phase. I mean, that's like during the time of dinosaurs. Wait, hold on, I'm just receiving word that dinosaurs existed way before that. But still, these temples are ridiculously old, yet they're still in good quality, all available for you to visit during your time in Malta. The architectural complexity of the temples gives an insight into the ingenuity of humans, present at a time when we thought people just played with sticks and stones. The southern temple even has a magnificent doorway, which is actually a big hole carved in the rock. It symbolizes the rising of the sun through the seasons of the year. The temples are fascinating and definitely worth visiting. 8. The Popeye Village. Now, I know what you're thinking. This village isn't by chance related to Popeye the Sailor, you know, the goofy cartoon character from the 1900s that gets incredibly strong when he eats from a can of spinach? Well, I'm glad to say that you are absolutely right. The village is actually named so because it was the set for the 1980 Popeye movie adaptation starring Robin Williams. It's a small seaside village that's basically a tourist site for kids. It's really just a Popeye-themed village for the most part, with a Popeye mascot greeting you at the entrance and willing to give you a tour. The village is beaming with fun and excitement. There are gift shops, beaches, a bakery, and even a firehouse that you can go visit. Popeye Village is mainly for family fun, with kids from all around the world visiting daily. And if you visit during the holiday season like Christmas and even Halloween, you get to be part of major festivals and carnivals and concerts that show you just how much Maltans like to party. So check out the Popeye Village while you're there with your kids. Who knows, maybe it will inspire them to start eating spinach. 7. Hagar Qim Temples, Island of Malta. Malta is famous for megalithic structures, as in structures that were built with large chunks of stone, and the Hagar Qim Temples are a spectacle amongst megalithic structures. Found on a plateau near the island of Filfla and adjacent to the Mediterranean Sea, the Hagar Qim Temples are approximately 5,000 years old, with the largest megalith weighing up to 20 tons and extending up to 7 meters long. That's basically the weight of 3 African elephants and the length of a train. It's hard to imagine humans at that time working with materials of this scale, and yet the temples are living proof that they did. The Hagar Qim Temples are even in the UNESCO World Heritage List as a pristine cultural and archaeological site, right there for you to see should you choose to visit. 6. The Blue Grotto. The legend goes a little something like this. The sirens of great beauty and mesmerizing looks would perch on the rocks and lure men with their songs and charms, and ultimately lead them to their death. And when the day was done and the sirens could sing no more, they would retreat to their home, their ethereal abode of beauty and wonder, the Blue Grotto. This is probably one of the most beautiful destinations in all of Malta. The Blue Grotto possesses a landscape that feels like it was taken out of a fairy tale. If you don't know what a grotto is, it's basically a cave with a pool inside. The Blue Grotto stands at 30-meter high with a luminous cobalt pool. It's best to visit the grotto in the late hours of the afternoon when the sun is at its peak. You'll bear witness to the scintillating beauty of this cave. You can even kick things up a notch by going scuba diving, as the grotto is also a prominent scuba diving site. The grotto is mainly accessed by a boat called Luzus, and it's about a 20-minute drive from the coast. There's also a village near the cave called Wied iz Zuriek, where you can find ice cream shops, restaurants, and cafes. 5. Hal Saflieni Hypogeum. I promised you a cult site, didn't I? Welcome to the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum, or simply the Hypogeum. It is the oldest and, dare I say, largest underground temple in the world, much older than the pyramids of Giza. In fairness, it really was just an underground cemetery where the men of the time performed bizarre rituals and worshipped their Neolithic deities. The Hypogeum has interconnected chambers that were carved from limestone, and it even has a chamber 10 meters below the ground with the lowest chamber called the Holy of Holies. It's a catacomb that's over 5,000 years old, and it's surprising how it's still in a fine condition after all this time. The Hypogeum has given insight to archaeologists on humans living in the Neolithic era, and what's even most fascinating is that there were artifacts found in the Hypogeum, and all of them have been stored in the Maltese Museum. So, if you want to examine this piece of prehistoric magnificence, then visit the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum. 4. Rabat. We are now entering the more complex sites of Malta, the massive destinations with so many great sites that it would take too long to go through them one at a time. This is Rabat, which is the Maltese word for suburb. Rabat is a suburban area of Malta with captivating villas and Victorian-era houses. Rabat finds the middle ground between modern and antiquated. With houses like the Casa Bernard, Doms Romana, or the Wingnacourt Museum, the St. Dominic Convent, which is a pilgrimage destination, and even St. Paul's Catholic Church, where it's said that St. Paul studied during his time in Malta. There are all sorts of things to see and do in Rabat. You can take tours into the residential area and visit the churches even if you're not particularly religious. 3. The Island of Gozo. For a relaxing and adventurous time, visit the Island of Gozo. It's right next to the island of Malta, and there are all sorts of fun activities you can try out. The island has quite a few villages you can visit. Gozo is well known for its hills in the countryside and pristine geological features, like its inland seas as well as the Azor Window, which is basically a naturally occurring archway formed over centuries of erosion. There are so many scenic views and surreal locations that it's hard to pick. You're just going to have to pick for yourself when you visit. 2. Valletta. Let's talk about the capital of Malta, Valletta. An entire city dedicated to the richness and grandeur of Malta. It was created by the Knights of Malta in the 16th century when they set out to construct a capital on par with France and Italy. The city is connected by the Marsa Megzet and the Grand Harbor. It is easily navigated despite its seemingly complicated build. It has great locations like St. Paul's Cathedral and the Grand Master's Palace, which is a good place to visit if you want to know the history of Malta's military exploits. The city is full of so many attractions. There are just too many places to visit, like the National Museum of Archaeology or the Museum of Fine Arts, the Casa Rocca Piccola, Republic Street, and Merchant Street. Need I go on? I promise you, Valletta is the place for a truly unforgettable experience in Malta. And when you're done with all these locations and it's time for you to kick back and relax, you will need to go to the last location on this list. 1. Golden Bay Beach. We started with a place at the seaside, so it's only fair that we end at a place with one. Golden Bay is a beach in northwest Malta. It's considered to be one of Malta's most beautiful beaches, and it's next to the Radisson Blu Resort and Spa. an exclusive 5-star hotel with all the sophistication that Malta has to offer. Treat yourself to a good time on the Golden Bay Beach, walk in the golden sands far away from the Maltese traffic, take a dip in relaxing waters, and just breathe in the glow of the sunlight. You've earned it. This concludes our list of the top 10 places to visit in Malta. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, and feel free to check out our other travel videos. As always, thanks for watching.